What's up, everyone? It's been a while since I made any videos, probably a few years actually. My name's Neil Southwick, aka the King of Me, and I'm going to be sharing some of my information, my thoughts about exercise, fitness, rehabilitation, etc., etc. The last few years since the lockdown have really changed my perspective on exercise. I've been training for 47 years approximately, so I'm coming up to 50 years training, and I've been a rehabilitation therapist for the last 13 years and a trainer for the same. I've also trained and coached many teams, many different things. I don't want to go into my entire resume because we'll be here all day. As you get older, if you stay in the same thing long enough, you build up a big resume. Anyway, I have some of the academic qualifications. I also have my years of knowledge. Now, I don't profess to know everything. I'm not telling you I know everything. I always learn. I'm continuing to learn. At 57 years old, I'm still getting more information all the time. So I make no apologies about saying to you, tomorrow, if I learn more information about something, I may change my mind completely on what I know today. Okay? But bear with me. On my channel, you will see down in the videos below me throwing around kettlebells and maces and club bells, doing Persian yoga, Mace Warrior stuff, and boom, 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 boom. I've been on a functional training kick for the last 10 years. I've really enjoyed it, but it hasn't given me what I want. In fact, I seem to go all the way back to square one, which means getting injured, getting tired, getting fed up, getting disillusioned. And it's like, where am I going with this? Now, I train people and I repair people. I want to give people the best training with the best repair, i.e., I don't really want you to go doing something like CrossFit. Why? Well, although it's got some benefits, it does break you down and damage you quite badly. In fact, it's been very helpful for me that the CrossFit's come along because it's given me a lot of work over the years as a therapist. Anyway, not here to talk about that. I just want to talk about, just quickly, my training has completely changed. My ethos has changed. The last few years, I've re-looked at things, and the last year in particular, I've gone full circle back to a training system that I used many, many years ago, way back in the 80s stroke 90s. I'm just moving something on my screen. Like I said, I've come across, I've been doing way more studying. I've had more time to do more studying, looking at the science as well as empirical data as well. And where I want to ask the question, where did the original, okay, we're talking about weight training now and exercise, right? Lifting weights. Where did the traditional 3 sets of 10 kind of come from? Okay. And why do we still do that kind of workout? It's still the kind of go-to workout, right? Like it or not, it is. There's lots of other ways to train. I'm just talking about that. Why did it become so popular? Well, there was a study done by a Dr. Berger back in 1962. Yeah, Berger. I know, right? So Dr. Berger did this study, and he took 9 groups of around 20 people, and he trained them in a kind of 3 sets of 10 or 1 set of 10 or 2 sets of 10. He kind of done that kind of study on how it performed. And his conclusion at the end of his study was that 3 sets of 10 outperforms 2 sets or 1 set of 10. Okay, you get better strength increase and more muscularity. Okay, basically. So I was like, okay, right. So let's have a look at that. 3 sets of 10, and when I looked at the data from it, it didn't match up very well. Not that I'm some kind of clever scientist that can pull all these things apart. I didn't. I looked at a guy called Carpinelli, Ralph Carpinelli, who is a sports and exercise science par excellence, and he actually did a paper critiquing Berger's original paper, and he just pulled it all apart. For instance, the study was done over, I think, about 10 weeks. 12, it might have been 12 weeks actually. I think it was 12 weeks, and there was no control groups. They were basically allowed to kind of almost like do what they wanted. Like I think they were university students that were taking part. They might have been exercise university students, I'm not sure. But anyway, the study was pulled apart, and it was found that the increases were seen in just the bench press. Okay, so they did half a dozen different exercises, but he only actually submitted what happened in the bench press, right? And so I'm in the favour of the low one set mindset nowadays, right? That's where I'm going with all of this. 100%, unquestionably, it is the most effective and efficient way to train and recover the body, to retrain and recover, etc. 3, 4, 5 sets of 2, 6, 10, 20 reps is just dangerous, and it's breaking people down, and I want to kind of help dispel those kind of myths. So back to the Berger study. So yeah, so in the first kind of 2 to 4 weeks, there was shown a couple of percentage improvement in the 3 sets category. Okay, but what they failed to take into account is if you're only doing 1 set, okay, as opposed to 3 sets, your skill level at doing the bench press is going to be that much better because you're practicing it more, because you're doing more and more sets. Okay, so we can actually take that first bit of information and say, well, actually, we can put that to the side because it doesn't make any difference because you're just more skilled. Yeah, so it's a bit like sprint training. You sprint once or you sprint 3 or 4 times. You're going to get better the more times you do it. Okay, so that can then allow you for initially a little bit of increase. But by the entirety of the program for the full 12 weeks, it was actually shown a few percent increase in, like, say, the last 6 weeks for the 1 set group. Okay, the 1 set group actually improved more than the 3 set group, and the 2 set was no different. Actually, it didn't improve better than any of them. Okay, in fact, what it did show was that 2 sets is worse than 1 or 3. Strangely, at least that's my take on it. So the other standout apart from that was that what was it? You could be spotted, yeah, by a spotter who's standing there holding the bar for any amount of reps. It wasn't designated or controlled, so the person didn't have to push to absolute failure and then force out a couple of reps. I could literally start pulling it up and down after 2 or 3 reps. I could help you, just assist, and it wasn't written down about how much assistance was given or how many reps. It was just ridiculous. It also came to the conclusion that actually, we'll have a look at the paper in a sec, that it was actually 3 sets of 6 that turned out to be the most proficient of the 3 sets. Not 3 sets of 10, it was 3 sets of 6. Now, 3 sets of 6 is only 18 reps. 3 sets of 10 is 30 reps. So 18 reps is almost half the way that it was reported. So can you see that all the time you're actually pulling apart this information because it's just pretty ludicrous, actually. And I think in his re-summary, he redid it again in 1972, or in the 1970s, and he couldn't come to the same findings. It wasn't there. So we'll quickly have a look at Carpinelli's paper, and you can see for yourself. I'll leave a link to it as well. So if I share the screen now, the effect of varied weight training programs on strength. There you go. The evidence that multiple sets of exercise are superior to a single set for maximum strength gains. 1962 by Berger. He's reviewing it. Okay. I don't want to go through this entire paper. There's lots of information in there, but the crux of it that I can read, basically 9 groups of 20 college men, strength training exercises 3 times a week for 12 weeks. Okay, 3 times a week for 12 weeks. Okay. Don't want to go over those. The results of training 1, 2, or 3 sets by combining the 9 groups. Training with either 1 set or 2 sets produced similar improvements of strength, 22.3 and 22%, whereas training with 3 sets got 25.5, which is a difference of 3.2% in favour of the 3 sets, okay, or an increase of 1.8 kilograms, okay. Not a significant increase when you consider that's 3% increase with 300% of the time and energy expenditure. It's not really a lot. It might make a little bit of a difference to an elite athlete, but for the majority of people that I'm talking about, not really feeling it, to be honest with you. So here we go down here to the bit where I said to you that the improvement actually occurred during the second 3 weeks, so weeks 4 to 6, where 1 set was 5%, 2 sets 5.7, and a 7.8% increase for doing 3 sets. Okay, but then when we come down a little bit further, for the rest of the 12-week study, weeks 7 to 12, the difference between the groups gradually diminished until the rate of improvement was practically the same during the last 3 weeks of training. In fact, the rate of improvement for weeks 9 to 12 actually was 4% for 1 set, 3.2% for 2 sets, and 3.3% for the 3 sets, saying actually that's showing us that in the last phases, the 1 set was actually better. A specific number of reps, 6, that Berger claimed to be optimal. The rate of strength increase was 4.83 and 4%. So at 6 repetitions, it was better on the 1 set group by 0.8%. He claims that more sets, more reps per set, and more total repetition training resulted in greater improvement in strength. His implication is that 3 sets of 10 at the greatest volume of exercise is the most effective. However, contrary to Berger's claim, Table 2 shows that there was a significant greater increase in strength for subjects in the 3 sets of 6 group, who performed, like I said earlier, just 18 repetitions, not 30 repetitions, as in 3 sets of 10. Blah, 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 blah. A combination of 6 repetitions and 3 sets was more effective in improving strength than any other combination of sets and reps. Berger reports no significant interaction and then antithetically claims that the combination of 3 sets and 6 reps is more effective than any other combination of sets and reps. Berger's subjects were enrolled in the weight training, blah, 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 blah. But, it's full of just 1962 mishaps, basically. Do you know what I mean? They were doing this back in 1962. I mean, if 3 sets of 6 were superior to any other training protocol, subsequent studies would have replicated those. However, a follow-up to the study by Berger failed to support his conclusion that 3 sets of 6 is the best training protocol. So he trained 3 groups of young men 3 times a week for 9 more weeks, 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 10, or 6 sets of 2. In free weight bench press exercise, all the groups showed a significant increase in 1 rep max bench press, which again, you know, 1 rep max is a skill. Okay, it's not necessarily a determination of strength. It's only a determination of strength based on your skill level at doing that discipline. Okay, you can be super strong. If you've never done a bench press, you may not be as good as somebody who's practiced it forever. Okay, but might be actually way less stronger. So that's the 1972 study it's talking about for there. So Berger recommended performing 3 to 5 sets of each exercise for optimal strength, and recommends performing 5 to 9 sets of each exercise. He also claims that 3 sets are more effective than fewer sets for maximizing strength. The only reference that Berger cites in the aforementioned books, so his books, is his 1962 strength training study. He still believes that a great volume of exercise is required for optimal strength gains. But there is little peer-reviewed evidence to support high-volume strength training protocol, despite the numerous confounding variables, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there are just... Guys, I'm going to stop sharing this. Stop the share. Guys, we've been had 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets. We've been had. I'm telling you. We've known for a very long time. I've been researching this stuff like absolute crazy. Hundreds of scientific studies, books upon books upon books. I'm telling you now, you're wasting your time doing 3, 4, 5 sets. Well, you're not wasting your time. Everything works, right? But why would you run around the block 6 times if I told you running once fast gets the job done exactly the same? Why would you do it? There is no reason other than to train yourself for a specific skill. Now, that's something completely different, okay? So, like, you know, if you want to do marathon running, if you want to do CrossFit, if you want to do Olympic lifting, if you want to do powerlifting, play tennis, play football, play rugby. These are all skills, and you learn to do those skills. That is a completely different thing. I'm not talking about that. Okay, that's a completely different thing. I said that twice, but there you go. I repeat myself a lot. So there are hundreds more studies like this. The vast majority of evidence that I am seeing, and I'm trying to remain impartial, is that less is actually more. Less is way more. It doesn't mean less in terms of how much output you do, because you've got to train really intensely to create an adaptive response in the body. Once you've reached the level of an adaptive response, why would you do any more? You've done it. It's like Jay Vincent says, it's like if you go to get a suntan, once your skin starts changing, if you stay out in the sun longer, you're going to get burnt. It's just going to hurt you. You're not going to get anything better. You're going to get damaged. And eventually, if you keep doing it, you'll get so damaged, the skin will peel and come off. If you keep doing it, you may get skin cancer. No, the idea is to go out, get the effective dose, and don't have no more. If a doctor prescribes a certain amount of medicine to you, why would you take one more? Because one more isn't going to be any better. Yeah? One more is not any better. Never. But I think most people don't understand where their true level of failure actually is. That's the problem. And most people spend more time thinking about how to lift a weight or push a weight or do whatever they need to do with the weight, rather than thinking about what their body is actually doing. we're too preoccupied with thinking, oh, I've got 20 kilos on there, I need to get it up to 22 kilos, and I need to do 10 reps. If I can just get to 10 reps, that'll be it. That's the complete opposite of what's supposed to be going on. You're supposed to connect this to this and work yourself to a point where you understand you can't do any more, and you create a change in your body, and then you rest long enough to get that change to take hold so you can come back and do it again. That's it. This is the key to exercise. The key to exercise is up here. When people are jumping around and they're doing stuff, and it's like, you literally do not know what you're doing, and you don't know why you're doing it. You only know the level that you've been told, but there's so much more, right? Like, it's like some things I know about, some things to a certain level, somebody else will come along and just like trump me over the top. I've spent nearly 50 years exercising and training. The last 20 years like helping other people. The last 15 years as a more serious therapist and trainer and coach. And you know, I've worked with elite level athletes all the way down to just, you know, your general gym rats, you know, people who just enjoy working out and exercising. But we are sadly missing the information that's not only going to make us stronger, physically looking better, but feeling better and not getting so damaged. And one of the things that's really important for me to get over to people is don't do stuff that breaks you down and damages you. Do stuff that actually builds you up. Yeah. So remember, 1 set, 2 sets, 5 sets, 10 sets, it will all work. It all works, right? I'm not saying that. What you're doing now, you may be doing something and say, well, Neil, I'm lifting my kettlebell for, you know, 500 reps of kettlebell swings and I feel amazing and I've lost weight. That's fine. It works. But you've got to think about the metabolic damage you are accumulating along the way. If you could do the same in a quarter or less a time, why the hell wouldn't you take it? Again, I'm not talking about doing it for specific exercise. Sorry, for specific sports or things you want to compete in or do. I'm talking about just exercising to make your body stronger and leaner, etc. Think about it. Just think about it. I can't see why anybody would not want to go into the gym and be out in half an hour rather than being there an hour and a half, right? If they're exercising properly, you cannot do that. All right, you might go 45 minutes. But many people use the gym as a recreational pastime. They go to the gym, they meet people, they talk to them, they have a coffee, they have a drink, they get around the water fountain, you discuss things, you share ideas. It's a sociable thing to do. That's fine. That's fine. Not a problem with that at all. But if you want real exercise, that ain't the way to do it. Yeah. And if you're in the gym busting your gut 3, 4, 5 times a week, and you're feeling these pains in your shoulders and your back, and you're not recovering properly, and actually, you know, because I know I've done it for years, you start to not feel strong. You actually start to feel weaker. And I'm telling you guys, it's because your system is breaking down. It can't repair quick enough. Like if you train on a Monday night and say you do chest and shoulders or whatever on a Monday night. I think these things are silly now, but say you do chest and shoulders or whatever on a Monday night, right? And then on a Tuesday, you're going to go in and do legs, right? For a start, you're not a professional bodybuilder, okay? Unless you are taking illegal substances, you are not going to be able to repair your body quick enough. properly inside physiologically to repair it, to come back and be able to train stronger, even if you're doing upper body and lower body the next day, because the body sees it holistically, systemically, all the way across it. Your body just doesn't say, oh, my chest has been work, I need to grow it. You know, everything's involved. Everything's involved. If you work your chest and your shoulders, or just do an upper body workout and then go to train lower body, you feel tired, right? Because it affects your entire body. If you do a legs workout, a really hard legs workout, and then try and work your upper body, you can't. Yeah. Well, the way that some people do it. So anyway, I'm rambling like crazy because I'm passionate about what I do and I don't shut up. But I've changed my stance on a lot of things. Okay. There are things we do for enjoyment. Okay. So they would be walking, hiking, yeah, swimming, jogging, biking, climbing, motorcycling, things like that. Okay, they are recreational. Dancing is another one. Things like that. Zumba, yeah. These things are not exercise. They never have been and they never will be. It's not exercise. You've got to rethink the way you're thinking about exercise, because that's not exercise. Okay. For starters, the more running and swimming and all these things that you do, the more your body adapts to keep it into homeostasis, so the less calories you're starting to burn. It's like you get an economy of motion. You don't get any fitter. You don't get any stronger. Maybe a little bit, yeah. It works to a certain percentage, but you can do all this stuff and not get anywhere, like a lot of people do. And the reason is because your body adapts to it and it gets used to doing it. When it gets used to doing it, it will keep you working in the most efficient way to keep your calories where they need to be, so that you don't burn too many. So your body's not going into starvation mode, and like your brain's got enough food and energy for it. So, yeah, a lot of them things are actually like, if you took two people and sat one just doing computer work all day, and you took another guy and like controlled his calories really, really well, and then you took another guy and you sent him out running 3 or 4 days a week, and maybe didn't control his calories quite as good because he's running more, so he needs more food, he gets hungrier quicker, I pretty much guarantee you I could get the same results, both people. Yeah. In fact, yeah, with no exercise whatsoever, in a 12-week calorie controlled or nutritionally controlled program, I can make you, or many trainers can make you look as good as if you'd been training 3 or 4 times a week in 12 weeks. Quite simple. Not hard at all. Not hard at all. As long as you get the calories right, as long as you get the macros right, together with the lifestyle, you'll be absolutely fine. Okay. Because your body adapts. Yeah. It's like, why aren't all furniture removers huge, great big giant guys like strongmen? Right, obviously you get a few, right? But most of them are just ordinary guys. The same as a bricklayer. He goes to work and he's laying bricks all day. It's a hard physical exercise. He don't get any bigger. He don't get any more powerful. He don't get any more fitter. Once he can lay his bricks and he's got used to it over the years, he stay exactly the same. Exactly the same. So someone who sits on a computer, or someone who goes out bricklaying all day, every day, no change, because you're used to what you're doing. Your body is so intelligent, it adapts you to the task you're doing. So unless you are pushing your body to the point of complete failure, you are not going to push it to generate an adaptive process in the muscle building, fat burning system. And this is what this is all about. Wasted time, missed opportunities, too many injuries, lifting too much, getting too tired, fitting it in with life, all those things. You can do it much, much easier than you think. It's still not easy to learn. Anything worth having is difficult to get. Okay, you've got to work for it. So you still got to work for it, but you ain't got to work as crazy and as mental as you used to. And hopefully, over the coming weeks, I'm going to change your mind about some of the things, or at least get you thinking. And it's getting me thinking crazily stuff. The things I'm going through my brain at the moment are crazy, but it'll get you thinking, get you looking at things different. if you like what I'm saying and you want to hear a little bit more of it, just leave me a message down in the comments. I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, I'm not responsible for all this information. It's just information I've learned. You can go and talk to people. Look for Steve Maxwell. Look for Drew Bay. Look for Ken Hutchins. Look for Nautilus, and look for Jay Vincent. I'll give you more names as we go along, but all the studies, all the information, the vast majority of it is pointing at actually, doing a little bit less, and you will actually gain way, way more. And I don't know about you, but I'm all for that. As I get older, I'm nearing towards 60, I want to keep myself going. Steve Maxwell said, if you can make it to 65 pretty well, then you're going to live pretty good after that. I'm trying to get there. Not that easy, I've got to be honest. And you might just want to listen to what a few of the old guys say, because it ain't always about the science. Some of it's about picking up other things along the way. Empirical evidence, what I've learned, what I've seen, what I've done, may help you as well. Especially if you're a younger guy, you're not sure where you're going with all this. You think the answer is TRT, like a lot of people do. Just listen up, listen in. And I'll just give you the benefit of what I've learned, okay, as a wannabe athlete and a therapist and a coach, a trainer. I've got some insight, a little bit at least. But all the evidence is there. I'm only passing on the information that I've learned, and it's going to save you years, because I've been studying this for so many years, I can't believe. And I've also found that so many things that I have studied they just don't add up in the real world. It just doesn't work. That's the trouble. Can you take something that was prescribed, say, in the 1960s or 70s and make it work in the 2020s? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? We're different beasts. We're not like our caveman forefathers anymore. We live in a different world. The one thing about human beings we know is we do adapt and survive. Whether that goes against our physiology or not, hopefully we can adapt our physiology to cope with whatever we need. And so, anyway, like, share, subscribe, leave us any messages down below. If you think I'm talking a load of rubbish, please say it down below. I'll try and leave a link to the study, the Carpinelli study that I did, that I talked about, and you can read that stuff for yourself, and maybe let me know what your conclusions are about these things. You want to do 3 sets of 10 or 1 set of 10 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 15? Doesn't matter, as long as you go to MMF, momentary muscular failure, then you're going to go the right way. It's knowing how to do it. That's the secret. All right. Take care. Take care of your loved ones. Keep training hard. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, bye.